Alrighty, this one's out of New Jersey, and I wanted to do this one because I found it kind of interesting, but something I think that a lot of us have dealt with on calls, alarm calls, and suspicious person calls, and um, most of those turned out to be, pretty mundane for the most part. But every once in a while, you get one that gets kind of sideways. This guy apparently calls in because he felt like he had some or saw some trespassers in his yard, one of whom he felt like was armed. So of course somebody's dispatched and officers show up. So let's kind of see what happened. And it's not a super long video. It's about 7 minutes, but let's see what's up.
911, where's your emergency?
Two intruders in the back of my yard.
What town's it in?
Mantua?
Mantua. Are you off Elm Avenue?
Yeah. One of them had a gun for sure.
Okay. And your phone number's,
Yeah.
How many were there?
A firecracker away to get them to go, but they keep coming back, like looking to the fence.
Okay, hold on for the police. I'm going to transfer you.
Police communications.
911 transfer on Elm Avenue in Mantua. Phone number's caller reported intruders on the property, and he believes one of them had a gun.
Hello?
One of them definitely had a gun. I saw him.
What's your address?
57 Elm.
57 Elm Avenue?
257.
257?
Yeah. I mean, I came out and I lit off a quarter stick to scare them away, but they came back.
Okay. How many people were there?
Two. They're,
You're on Elm, not West Elm, right?
not one on.
Okay. How many were there? You said two?
Two. That I saw, and then as I came back, there was a woman.
Okay. So based on what this guy's saying, if you're listening to this, if you're the call taker in the 911 center, or if you're meeting with this complainant and you're hearing the story, okay, there were two of them and I threw a firecracker at them and one of them had a gun and then they went away when I threw the firecracker and then they came back and then there was a woman. You can see how this is starting to get a little bizarre, right? Starting to get a little strange. So that should be putting the hairs up on the back of your neck, right?
You got a description of the individuals?
I'm gonna say the one guy, he looked like to me maybe in his mid-60s.
You got white males, black males, Hispanic males?
White, long, like thinning hair. The other guy was a black guy.
So one white male, one black male?
Yeah, and the other girl, I really couldn't get a look. She was behind the fence.
What were they doing?
Well, when I looked out my window, the one guy was in my shed, getting my shed door open. And I came around to go outside to confront him, and there was a guy fucking in my truck trying to get it open.
Okay, hang on 1 second. Or where are they at now?
It almost looked like somebody's in my truck.
Okay. Mantua, Clark County. 257 Elm Avenue. 257 Elm Avenue. 911 phone call. Cars advising two subjects on his property. One male is trying to get into his shed. One male possibly in his truck now.
All right, so as you're listening to this, what are you thinking? You thinking this guy's on the level, or do you think maybe he's, having some kind of either mental episode or maybe he's got some kind of dope on board? He sounds perfectly calm and level-headed, right? I mean, he's very matter of fact. He's not crazy about it, but the stuff that he's saying, the way that he's saying it, is kind of throwing up some red flags for me.
He advised that one may have been.
I'm everybody going to house, dude. I don't know if these guys. I mean, I have something my grandfather passed down to me. I don't know how legal it is. In a will.
And what's your name?
Charles Sharp.
Charles Sharp.
Yeah.
Every fucking time with these
Phone number?
telemarketers.
there you go.
Did you see the weapon?
I mean, it was silver. The moonlight came off of it, and I knew it, I don't know what type it was, but it was a handgun.
Okay, did you see it though?
Yes, sir.
Caller said he tried to make contact with the individuals and saw the handgun.
So then I went back in the house. Like I said, my grandfather willed me a 45. I don't know what I'm allowed to do or do without that. So I threw a couple quarter sticks at him. Maybe that's not the professional thing to do, but.
So he seems pretty convinced that he saw somebody. So.
Are you talking with my officers?
Oh shit. Okay, so he's got officers on scene.
Sir.
Yo. Yeah.
I copy.
Yo. The fucking beeping out.
I copy. I'm gonna start everybody else. Where at?
Right there.
Where?
Right there.
County shots fired.
I copy.
What the absolute fuck, dude?
We are county shot. Where at?
Right there.
He has a handgun on him right there, so he's trying to point out that he sees somebody.
Where?
Right there.
County shots fired.
I copy.
We are shot. Don't reach! Don't reach! The county notified Cooper, male shot, point a handgun.
I copy. Start everybody else.
Watch, he's got a gun on him. He's got a gun on him.
Gun on him. Point at us. Right there. Right there. Start EMT. Start EMS. Start EMS. Go. Use that glove. Use that glove.
I need KLS. Take that. Thank you.
I don't know. The guy came out, pointed a gun. Pointed the gun. I thought he was gonna fucking shoot me, dude.
Yeah, here's the call.
You see the officer that checked that gun, he threw it down. Oh shit, this is fake. What a shitty feeling.
Get his shirt off.
There's going to be Travis Trump was my original caller, the owner of the residence. Yeah, can you give me some more units out here? I'm going to need a perimeter on Elm.
All right, so real quickly, I got some questions here because I didn't hear it because that goddamn phone rang. I hate these telemarketers, man. I'm telling you right now, that stuff's got to stop somehow, some way. Like, if there's nothing else to do in Washington, D.C., that should be a priority because that shit's old. Anyway, did the dispatcher relay the information to the responding units that this guy told them that he had a 45? Right? So I remember the complainant saying, you know, my grandfather willed me this gun. I've got this gun. Were they notified of that? And if so, is that something that they should have expected to see when they get on scene? Not to say that, you know, you get to point a gun at somebody and expect not to get shot, but, you know, was the officer aware and expecting there to be another gun on scene when he got there?
Rich.
Full shirt off.
Copy. Okay.
I don't have a knife on me. Sorry.
Yeah, the call is back.
So I want to take a look at one or listen to one thing here real quick.
Two.
You're on Elm, not West Elm, right? What are you doing?
Well, when I looked out my window, the one guy was in my shed, getting my shed door open. And
57 Elm Avenue. 25.
grandfather passed down to me. I don't know how legal it is.
So right there, there's another gun on scene.
In a will.
And what's your name?
There it goes.
Did you see the weapon?
I mean, it was silver. The moonlight came off of it, and I knew it. I don't know what type it was, but it was a handgun.
Okay, did you see it though?
Yes, sir.
Caller said he tried to make contact with the individuals and saw the handgun.
So then I went back in the house. Like I said, my grandfather willed me a 45. I don't know what I'm allowed to do or do without that. So I threw a couple quarter sticks at him. Maybe that's not the professional thing to do, but.
Are you talking with my officers? Sir. Are you talking with my officers? Are you?
Okay, so I heard somebody right there say the guy's got a handgun. Does he mean the complainant? Or is that the complainant that we hear saying to the officer the guy's got a handgun where over there? That's what we heard. We heard the complainant saying to the officer as he arrived on scene, the guy's got a handgun. Where? Right over there. And then you hear the shots.
Are you talking with my officers? Sir.
Yo. Yeah. I copy.
All right, so here's my questions, right? I don't know, and maybe my brain's just not operating correctly today. Was the officer informed that the complainant was armed? Now I want to look at what were the intents, or what was the intent of the complainant? Was this a legitimate, call for service? And by that I mean, all right, there's somebody in my yard, somebody breaking into my truck, somebody breaking into my shed. I've got this gun here. I'm going to go out and either confront them, or in this case, he threw, firecrackers or quarter sticks of dynamite or M80s or whatever the fuck he had. He threw those in an attempt to scare these people off. Now, to me, that doesn't seem like a rational thing to do, right? If you see somebody with a handgun, I don't know that throwing firecrackers at them is the best course of action there. So then the officer shows up, the guy standing out in the yard that we saw with that weapon in his hand, and he starts talking to the officer saying he's got a handgun where? Right over there. Well, was he trying to get the cop to turn around, put his back to him? Or was he just not thinking about what he was doing? And when he said right over there, he points, but he points with the gun in his hand, and then he gets whacked because of that. You know what? Let's take a look at that. Maybe that's what. Let's see if that's not what happened.
I copy. I'm going to start everybody else.
Where at? Right there. Where? Right there. Put the gun. Where at? Right there. Where? Right there. Put the gun.
So you can kind of see the gun in the complainant's hand here, and I think that's just him reacting to being shot. But I don't see where he presented it. Not that that's a requirement. Not that, you know, he necessarily has to point it directly at you. But any movement that you, as the responding officer, determine is furtive. I don't know, man. I mean, this is kind of wild because there's a lot of different ways to look at this one, in my opinion, right? Maybe this was a suicide by cop. Maybe the guy was under the influence, or maybe this was a legitimate call. But based on everything that I'm seeing here, it's hard to determine which it was. And I wish we could see the rest of the video. I wish there was more on the investigation. Unfortunately, there's not that I'm aware of. But, you know, if in fact what the complainant's saying is true, that there were 2 to 3 people, you know, 2 people originally, one with the gun, they went away and then they came back, and then there was a woman and they were trying to get in the shed and trying to get in his truck, and he walks outside with a replica handgun after throwing fireworks at them, and then meets the officers outside with the gun. It raises questions for me. And this is one of those, this is a situation with doing these videos, is that you don't, all you can see is what the camera's showing you, and all you can hear is what the microphone's giving you. So it makes it a lot more difficult to determine what's really going on because you're not there in the moment. But this is wild, man. You guys tell me what you think. I don't know. That's my answer. I don't know. Drop a comment in the comment section down below if you don't mind. Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. Tell me to go fuck myself. And subscribe to the channel if you don't mind. I appreciate it. You guys be good. Or be good at it. Be safe.